Hey y'all! Today we're going to be making chicken fried steak, which is this delicious deep fried little cube steak. And we're gonna smother that in a bunch of gravy and continue our theme of unhealthy cooking on this channel. So go run a mile after this episode and you'll be all good, right? That's how health works. Who knows? Let's go. Hey, welcome to episode 3 of Hella Good Cooking. As always, here are the ingredients. Go ahead and pause this if you need to. Alright, so we're going to start off by making our flour that we're going to use to coat our steak. So we're going to start with 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We're going to follow that up with 1 tablespoon of baking soda. We're going to use 1 cup of flour. Make sure we season with salt and pepper. Whisk that all together. Next, we're gonna make the buttermilk drudge for our steaks. So we're gonna start with 1 cup of buttermilk. We're gonna add a tablespoon of garlic. Next, we're gonna add 1 egg into this. And then we're gonna follow that up by adding some hot sauce. I had tapatio. I like it because it's a little bit more vinegary and it cuts through some of the fat that you'll kind of have in your steak. So you can use Tabasco, you can use Valentina if you have your own personal. Go ahead and use that. Now we're gonna do a very crucial step here. We're gonna add some of the buttermilk into our flour, and what that's gonna do is create these little micro clumps in your flour. And as we're dredging our steaks in that's what's gonna give us those nice crispy, outer edgy, crunchy pieces. All right, this is very important. Do not skip this. All right, so pro tip here, you wanna grab your cube steak by the corner, and we're gonna use the one hand technique. All right, I don't like to get my hands dirty too much. All right, so we're gonna dip it into the buttermilk, then into the flour mixture. Grab some of the flour mixture, pat that in. Make sure you're adding some of those nice little clumpies in there. Give it a couple shakes, right? Add some more, and then you're gonna wanna place this on a wire rack. All right, so once you feel like that's nice and coated, and the reason we put it on a wire rack is because we want to let these air dry and kind of absorb some of that mixture. So I just kind of sped. I just kind of sped through this. So the next thing we're gonna do while our steaks are kind of drying is make our gravy. Now this is a little bit of an untraditional gravy, but it's how I like to make it. I usually like to use a hot Italian sausage to actually make the gravy. So we're gonna go ahead and cook a hot Italian sausage, just 1 link, until they're nice and crispy, and we really want to smash that into little bits. Once that's cooked through and nice and browned, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter, and we're gonna let that dissolve before adding the flour, because we have to make a roux, which is very important, right? In all gravies, we need to make a roux. So we're gonna add our flour, we're gonna cook that out for about 3 minutes so we get a nice golden blonde roux. So that's about it for there. And then I started to add my milk. This is actually almond milk. I didn't have regular milk, and I wasn't gonna use buttermilk because I'm not a psychopath. And it actually works quite nicely. I would just normally use regular milk. So to this, we're gonna add 1 cup of chicken broth. I have some master chicken broth stock that I usually freeze for these occasions. I like the nice balance between the chicken and the pork fats. And more than anything, it's a nice way to thin out your gravy when it's too thick.
Holy moly!
Alright, so now's the moment of truth. We are going to fry our steaks. We're gonna cook these over medium high, which is about a 350. Alright. And we're gonna cook these for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, depending on the thickness of your steak. And we're gonna cook those until golden brown. While those steaks are cooking, I preheated a 250-degree oven. We're gonna take the chicken fried steaks out and stick them in the oven to keep them nice and crunchy or country, while we finish cooking the rest of the steaks. So what we're gonna do is smother this in gravy, and I really love this gravy a lot, just because you get those nice little bits of crunchies from the pork and the chicken fried steak, and it's a very rich balance that you get between those two. The hot Italian sausage adds that nice little heat and some of the pepper and the fennel that you get from it. Now, I usually add some hot sauce to this because, again, I want to cut some of the richness of that. So the hot sauce is very nice because it has that vinegar in it.
All right, so I finished all 4 chicken fried steaks. So what I'm gonna do is go run this off. So if you're enjoying the content, if you like the videos, go ahead, like, subscribe, do all that, and I'll see you all next episode. Peace.